I don't think that we should be turfing out prime ministers willy-nilly, and therefore I'm arguing that she should be given the time. But I have also
But that time is only 2 weeks.
I have also made clear
Yeah.
that if it becomes apparent to the parliamentary party that she is not able to do the job, then the necessary steps would always be taken.
There's no getting away from the fact the Conservative Party is in a pickle. Well, one man who's seen the Conservative Party in many pickles before is the former Chief Whip, Conservative MP Andrew Mitchell, who joins me in the studio. Good morning.
Morning.
How big a pickle is Liz Truss in?
Well, it's quite a big pickle, but it's not unsurmountable. And, be in no doubt, the Conservative Party in Parliament has always shown itself steely if necessary. And if necessary, I'm sure that a process for managing her out will begin. But we are not at that stage at the moment. And what all of us should be trying to do is to help her get it right. And appointing Jeremy Hunt as her Chancellor, Finance Minister, was a very good start.
When you say it's not necessary, the Tory party might move against it when it's necessary, but we're not at that point yet. How much more bad does it need to get before you think that, she's crashed the Tory party the polls, she's crashed the pound, she's had to shred all of her economic policies. What more could she possibly do before you think, well, actually, we need a change at the top?
Well, another way of looking at it is that she may, at this minute, be on the start of the upward climb. And she's appointed Jeremy Hunt. He's going to make a statement shortly. He'll be making a statement to the House of Commons this afternoon. This may be the start of her rescue, if you like, as he puts into place policies that firstly will satisfy the markets. And remember that Jeremy Hunt and I were in the cabinet when the OBR, the Office for Budget Responsibility, was set up by George Osborne. He had a very, very clear understanding of the importance of making clear to the markets that our policies are responsible. And I think that is what Jeremy Hunt will do today.
Isn't the problem that all of the policies and your position on the OBR that Jeremy Hunt is laying out are the exact opposite of what Liz Truss believes and set out in her leadership contest?
Well, both Jeremy Hunt and Liz Truss believe strongly that the key element we have to put back into the British economy is growth. We haven't had growth now for many, many quarters, and both of them are determined to do that. So they both share precisely the same end aim. We just have to get there.
Do you think that basically Jeremy Hunt is in charge? He's the one who's rescuing Liz Truss from the mess that she got herself in?
No, as he said yesterday, she is the Prime Minister and he is the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And the strength of all of this is that they're working together.
Are they? Is it not just Jeremy Hunt's come in and said, it's my policy now? Every single flagship policy that Liz Truss had in her leadership contest and announced in the mini-budget, he's shredding.
Well, they both clearly understood that satisfying the markets, making clear to the markets, which are completely unsentimental, they want a proper return for the risk that lending to the British government entails. So they're both very clearly bent on doing that, and that's a good thing.
Do you think Liz Truss can lead you into the next election?
I think the next 2 weeks will be critical in determining the answer to that question.
How can Liz Truss go into a general election campaign making a series of promises to the British people about what she would do if returned to office, given the only thing that people know about her is she's had to U-turn on every single promise she's made so far?
Well, at the time of the next election, the Prime Minister will be putting an offer to the country that is the determined offer of the Cabinet, the Conservative Parliamentary Party and the Conservative Party, the offer to the country at the next general election. Some of the policies which she enunciated during the leadership campaign were certainly not the policies of the Conservative Parliamentary Party. The end game of getting growth is absolutely agreed by all of us. So there's a very big difference between what she said in the leadership campaign and what she would be saying on behalf of the government and the Conservative Party in a general election.
But it's not just, it's what she said in the leadership campaign. It's what she then said on the steps of Downing Street. It's what she said in her party conference speech. Every single big policy she had towards that aim of growth is currently being shredded by the person she's had to bring in as Chancellor. How can she go to the country and make a promise ever again?
Well, I think we are in transition. She is moving, I hope, by October the 31st, maybe before then, to a set of clearly determined and agreed policies.
But she disagrees with.
Well, obviously
not. She
not.
told the country she disagreed with them.
Well, obviously not, because if she and the Chancellor decide that those are the policies with which we are going forward, they will be the agreed policies of the government. So I think we have to see what happens in the next 2 weeks, and they will determine not only the fate of the markets and what the markets believe about the policies we are pursuing, but also, I suspect, the fate of the Conservative Party.
Does the? I mean, she obviously brought in Jeremy Hunt on Friday. Does it need to go broader than that? Does she need to make more change to the way the government is run, a broader reshuffle to bring in some of those people who are outside the sort of team Truss at the beginning?
Well, I think she may have made a mistake in only rewarding her own supporters when she came into government. Most prime ministers during my time, certainly Mrs Thatcher, John Major, David Cameron, they've appointed, and Theresa May, they've appointed people on the grounds of ability and merit, and they've got the best person to do the job as is needed. I'm not sure she entirely adhered to that principle when she became prime minister, which is entirely within her right, but I think probably that she might have to look at that again.
So now we've got a prime minister who doesn't have any policies, and you're saying she's appointed people who aren't up to the job. I'm slightly confused as to why you think Liz Truss should remain as prime minister. She's tanked the economy. She's tanked the Tory party in the polls. None of her policies have survived contact with her new chancellor. And you think she's filled the cabinet with a load of people who aren't up to the job. What is it that you think? What is it that Liz Truss brings to the top job that you think means she should remain as prime minister?
I think that is a pejorative analysis, if I may say so, Matt. I think that the key thing.
Well, one positive that Liz Truss brings is being remaining prime minister.
She's appointed Jeremy Hunt as Chancellor of the Exchequer, and I think together they are going to sort this out. I have great faith in Jeremy Hunt in helping the prime minister to get to the right place.
Would it be better if Jeremy Hunt was just the prime minister?
No, he is the Chancellor of the Exchequer. He's just been appointed to that job. He's got a very big job to do as Chancellor. And the closer that he is in working with the Prime Minister, the better for the country and the Conservative Party.
Have you put in a letter to the 1922 committee?
No, I'm not a habitual letter writer, and I haven't put any letter. But I'd make the point that, if over the next 2 weeks it becomes clear to the parliamentary party that the Prime Minister needs to change, or be changed, then the technicalities of the mechanism are not important. The wish of the parliamentary party will assert itself.
So the 2 weeks being that on October the 31st, Jeremy Hunt unveils whatever is left of the medium-term fiscal plan. Is that the point at which you will make a decision as to whether or not you still have faith in Liz Truss?
I'm very keen indeed that Liz Truss should be given space to develop the right policies for the country and the party. I think it's a very good move to bring Jeremy Hunt on board, and I think together the two of them need to be given that space now to succeed.
What is it that you think? Why do you think that Liz Truss might now come up with the right policies for the country, given that she spent a very long time planning her leadership contest, her leadership bid? She laid out her policies for the country, and they were manifestly the wrong policies for the country. What makes you think she's now going to come up with some better policies?
I think that she will have learned some very valuable lessons over the last 40 days or so. And I think having Jeremy Hunt there to assist in this pivotal position of finance minister is the right answer to that question.
I mentioned at the beginning you've been chief whip. What would you be doing right now if you were chief whip?
I'd be making sure I understood absolutely the views and the wishes of my flock, the members of the parliamentary party, understanding exactly where they stand, what they want to see, and how they want to see it secured.
What's the sort of tipping point, do you think? When Wendy Morton, the now chief whip, is doing her ring rounds of MPs, what's the tipping point where she has to go to the Prime Minister and say, look, the game is up?
I think that the critical thing is to give the Prime Minister space now to recover. And so for me, and I'm sure for the Chief Whip, she'll be doing everything she possibly can to support the Prime Minister in the run-up to October the 31st.
Somebody's just texted in saying, don't these Westminster bubble politicos not realise how frustrated, angry and sick the British public are with these flat earth interviews they keep trotting at? That's the point. People listening to this. Who is this comical alley Tory Truss apologist, says Fillingham. People listening to this think you're mad. Why are you trying to argue that Liz Truss has got a future as Prime Minister?
Well, I'm arguing that she has been elected through the normal mechanisms of electing a party leader, and that she should be given a chance to put forward the right policies for the country. That is what I'm arguing. I don't think that we should be turfing out prime ministers willy-nilly, and therefore I'm arguing that she should be given the time. But I have also
that time is only 2 weeks.
I have also made clear that if it becomes apparent to the parliamentary party that she is not able to do the job, then the necessary steps would always be taken.
And what does that mean, necessary steps will be taken?
Well, it means that if she cannot do the job, she will be replaced.
By Jeremy Hunt?
I have no idea by who, but we haven't reached that stage yet.
But maybe in 2 weeks.
The 2 weeks is a period in which the government has the chance to get right the economic policies that the country, including your people who sent in those texts, want to see.
Not Jeremy Hunt, Andrew Mitchell. Really good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on Times Radio this morning. Conservative MP Andrew Mitchell.